Hey everybody, welcome to the MindMesh podcast. You look so upset.
I wasn't upset. I'm smiling because I knew that wasn't going to make it.
No, thank you all for tuning into the MindMesh podcast. My name's Cheatin'.
I'm Fish.
And welcome to the podcast all about those internet rabbit holes, those crazy shower thoughts that just make no sense once you revisit them or you tell the tale twice. We have kind of some topics tonight.
Loose topics.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a very loosey-goosey kind of night. But, sometimes that raises some good philosophical questions.
I know we're probably about like 2 years too late, but let's talk about some like prim tech.
Wow, that was a really good... I'm proud of you. I'm honestly quite proud of you. I know I ruined your segue by doing this little bit here, but like, that was good. That was real good. Also, I don't know if 2 years is enough. I feel like you need to say like 100, 150. So we're talking
I meant
about
like the trend of the. I guess I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about prim technology. You're talking about prim technology. You get it.
You get it.
Primitive technology. It was
not necessarily the channel, because the channel is sort of like the Kleenex of this genre.
Yeah, yeah. You had to open the Kleenex to see all the snot that's the rest of the channels.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say.
The cum.
I was gonna say that like, you'll call any tissue a Kleenex. Like, hey, can I have a Kleenex?
No.
Okay, whatever. But it's become sort of that. Like, I know there is the channel Primitive Technology, but like there have been so many channels similar to that I don't. And it's like the perfect thing to call it Primitive Technology.
Yeah, it's the name brand. Everything else is the off brand. It's the great value. It's the, I forget what Kroger's is.
I think it's just Kroger brand. I don't think it has like a...
Yeah, it just has the Kroger emblem on it.
Yeah.
Just like, haha, fuck you. No, but I will say this, growing up, because science videos are a very oddly large part of YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of my favorite channels
just
are
educational videos are a very large, surprisingly large part of YouTube. I mean, that's what I kind of got into YouTube with. I mean, I was, of course, just not saying I was a smart boy, but I was very big on science and math videos on YouTube for most of my, that's kind of what got me into it. I started with math and science videos, evolved into gamer boy videos, evolved into comedy videos, then de-evolved back into gamer videos, and now I'm here, where I literally will click on any video on YouTube and watch it to completion.
See, I started with AMVs.
Of course, you would start with AMVs.
I started with AMVs.
You would start with AMVs.
Which, if you don't know, it's anime music videos, which is...
I don't think I've ever... The only AMVs I've ever watched are actually ones that you've shown me. I don't think I have ever watched an AMV that was like out of my own free will.
I will still watch AMVs.
That's like, I feel like that was the first thing you showed me when we first like met and started talking. Was you like, hey man, have you seen this video? And you played me a fucking Naruto AMV.
No, I didn't get back into AMVs and probably till about a year until we started being friends.
Bro, I was trying to tell a funny fucking story. How about you stop getting real with me and start being comedic?
It's not a real story.
Yeah, but that's what improv comedy's all about, dude.
But then I devolved into cosplay videos.
I
skit
do
videos.
I take that back.
we both
we both found out that we followed the exact same cosplay group.
Yeah, Fighting Dreamers.
Yeah, Fighting Dreamers. I was deep. Like, well, that was certain time. I wouldn't say that was when I was first getting into YouTube, but
it was definitely when I was first getting into YouTube.
I mean, I would definitely say probably preteen, whenever Ben 10 was coming out, because I really wanted to learn about prop making and costuming and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was like
I was also into like Bleach and different Shonen Jump animes at the time, so
yeah.
I was super deep into like, it was mostly the weaponry.
Like how to make Ichigo's sword, stuff like that.
Yeah, how to make Ichigo's sword, how to make the Omnitrix, stuff like that. And I found Fighting Dreams Pro, which of course they did mainly Naruto.
They did like a bunch of skits, and that's how I found them.
Yeah, no, same.
It's like Kakashi's Boot Camp and all that stuff.
Yeah, I literally went through. I feel like I'm stuttering. Sorry,
You're good.
I'll take a step back for a second. But I went through a significant time where I was only watching like cosplay prop videos.
I did that for a good while. I got into that, and I think a little bit that kind of influenced
I
me
think
into getting into filmmaking was I found that, and then I found Indie Mogul with
oh
backyard
yeah.
effects.
No, so I mean, it was one of those things where it was kind of overarching in a sense. Like
Yeah.
I started out with math and science videos, and then I moved on to cosplay videos. But at the same time, I was moving into like that kind of film space.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was doing. Around the same time I started finding the cosplay videos, that's when I wanted to do cosplay, so I was trying to figure out how to make props. And then, like
Yeah,
I said, I found Indie Mogul, which also did like filmmaking stuff.
yeah. So I got into that film space, which got me interested. Which I mean, this is a story for a different day of how I got into wanting to edit
Yeah.
movies and TV and stuff like that. So I got into Indie Mogul, which led me into like going down the path of like, oh, what can I do in this space and finding editing. And then from there with editing, I learned about recording video games and then I learned about gaming videos. And then it's just like an everlasting cycle.
You know what's really funny is I actually used to like
Watch me on YouTube.
no.
Oh, shit.
We mentioned that a few podcasts ago with Mo.
How you thought that you might have actually watched one of our videos before knowing us?
Yeah, because I do remember watching at least like one Pixelmon video because I thought the mod was really cool. But it totally could have been you guys.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is that we jumped on a really weird ship in that point. But no, I will say that YouTube for me was an ever evolving cycle of like what I like right now. The thing that I'm super into is not even like gaming or it's literally watching TV shows that have been put up for free.
Oh,
Like
really?
from the broadcast. Like I've been watching this UK TV show right now called Taskmaster. Where
Oh, okay.
literally it's a show where they get a bunch of I think it's like 5 comedians. And then every it's like 5 episode seasons. That's the entire season is 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And every episode they give them like 3 to 4 tasks. Like it's one of these things where it's like
Like example, what's a task?
yeah, so an example of one of these tasks is I think the most recent episode I watched was the task was move the water from bucket A to bucket B without moving any of the water. And bucket B was 50 feet away. So they can't move either bucket, but bucket A is filled with water and they had to put it in bucket B. And what they have beside the bucket is a bunch of objects that won't help them. They have a colander, they have a plastic bag with a bunch of holes popped in it,
Yeah.
a fucking like fishing net, and tape.
Okay.
And literally it's the job of the 5 contestants to figure out a way to move the water from bucket A to B. And then the end they measure it. And whoever wins gets 5 points. Second place gets 4 points.
I see what you're
3
saying.
points, 2 points. So it's like it's one of those things where like some people are just really dumb about it and take the tape and tape up the colander and just try and transfer the water that way, but it leaks all over the place. But then there's other people that like literally pull out their wallet and be like, "Hey, one of the cameramen, can I pay you $150 and you carry the bucket over there for me?" And then they use a hose to fucking siphon it from one bucket to the other. So it's one of those things where it's like it literally the show's all about like how much wit do these comedians have to break the rules, to break the task.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. That sounds like a fun show.
No, it's really fun. I've been watching it a lot actually recently.
I've been watching a lot. I hate it because like now I cannot find a video longer than like 30 minutes on my recommended.
Oh,
I've been watching
yeah.
all these fucking like in-depth retrospectives or critiques on video games. Like I remember
I went through a period of that too. It's really weird how the whole the YouTube analytics thing works. The whole YouTube recommended.
Yeah.
Because it really does push you through this weird like timeline of like certain points of the year or certain points of your time on the site.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
specifically catered to one certain type of video, and then all of a sudden you click on something else that's different, and then the next day that's all you see.
See, my problem is that I normally like will find my little rabbit hole said like those kind of like video essay videos,
Yeah.
and I will go through them, and then I will or at least like all the really bigger channels
Yeah.
um and I'll go through like their main content, and then I won't have anything else to watch, and then that's when I find a new rabbit hole.
Well, that's
And
what's
then this-
really funny. And getting back to, I guess, our main topic is that I think last week when we were talking about these like primitive technology YouTubers that, I mean, you still watch them. I watch them from time to time.
That's kind of
Okay.
how I watch them. I don't watch them regularly. Our friend Billy that was on the podcast last week.
He watches them a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
last week technically. Yeah, last week. But there's one that it's really funny because we both get into these YouTube trends and then we will share the stuff that we found with each other. And then
It's normally the other has seen it or we're on that trend right then.
so last week I pitched this channel that I found to Fisher. I forget exactly what it was called. It was like modern technologies. It's literally a channel that the whole premise is reinventing stuff.
Oh yeah, I started watching them.
Yeah, so like the guy literally learned how to mine salt.
How to like hand make glasses from scratch.
Yeah, handmade glasses from scratch, which led to him making a telescope from scratch, which led to like there's a bunch like I think the most recent video that he has currently, which I mean he only uploads like every month to 2 months or something like that. But like he might have a new video out, but the last one that I saw from his channel, because I literally go back every like 6 months to like catch up on the 3 or 4 videos that he's uploaded.
Yeah.
But the most recent one he did was it was literally for the Super Bowl. That's how far back his videos are typically posted. But he literally did a video on making hot wings where he didn't harvest the chickens. Like he could do that if you wanted to. Those are pretty easily accessible to get. But
Some good old chickie.
he grew his own peppers for hot sauce. He made his own pots and pans out of like
Cast
clay.
iron.
No,
Oh,
it was clay pots and pans that he just set into a fire type deal. Like it's literally like the most primitive stuff. He literally had a salt rock that he just took like a knife to and just scraped off.
you
salt
told me
granules.
that, and then like fucking like took a mortar and pestle.
Yeah, and just grinded it up. So it's super interesting. He literally has a video on his channel called Reinventing the Wheel, where he goes through the process of what he thought happened to reinvent the wheel type deal. So it's interesting to me when it like primitive technology is so crazy to me because of how good it actually was.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we think of all these like first world problems like, oh, my food processor, the blades are dull so it doesn't chop up the peppers and onions. But then you think of like, oh, with a fucking mortar and pedestal, you literally turn them into a paste.
Oh yeah.
So
You're literally just smushing it.
yeah, no. So it's crazy to me, like watching this channel and how he's grown, because the way he utilizes his channel is that he's setting it up as a timeline. The first video he started up, he set defined rules for himself that he was starting back in the Stone Age, and he could only use tools and things that were available to him in the Stone Age
I didn't know that.
to
So
complete
like,
whatever task that he had set up for the video.
I didn't know that. So you're saying like
I think
Like that-
currently he's in the Bronze Age.
so like the
With the most
video
recent,
I was talking about the eyeglasses.
I would
like
assume
he
he
would-
was in the Bronze Age
Yeah,
because
'cause
of
you'd
the
prob-
glass.
Yeah, the glass and probably like a little bit of metal. For
Yeah,
the
no.
screws.
So that he kind of sets up rules for himself, and most recently with the Hot Wings episode, was he actually set up where he could not use modern machinery for like milling, or because he was making like olive oil
Yeah.
or something that he needed for it, and he determined that he was like, yeah, you guys have kind of complained about this, so I'm gonna set it up where I can't use this anymore. So he had to go out and actually build like a prehistoric fucking oil press, which is literally just a log with 2 rocks and olives in the middle, and you just put all your weight on one end so that it squeezes the juice of the olives out. It just like
Good times.
yeah, just straight up pure insanity. But it's also one of those things where it's so interesting to me that it's like, yeah, I honestly, I could see myself doing this just for fun to see if like I could do it myself.
See, like that's the structures. That's what I fucking love. Like
Oh,
primitive
yeah,
technologies. And then
the-
that one family I showed you.
Yeah, there's well, I mean that's kind of like a whole subsection of the whole thing. Like there's primitive technologies where like
It's like like you
making tools and making like food and stuff like that. But then there's the other side, which I kind of have slight experience with, where it's like they build houses.
yeah, no,
They
like
build structures out of it.
have you seen there's this it's like this European guy. I don't know if he's Irish or British. I'm sorry. That's probably bad of me to confuse the two. Um
Eh,
um
sure.
but but someone living in around that area. It's him and his dad.
Oh, I
And
thought you were about to describe the channel that I watched for a second. I was like, nah, the guy I watch is American.
no, it's like him and his dad, and they build like different kinds of cabins and like houses for of different time periods, and then we'll only use the tools from said time period. So like they were building like a Anglo-Saxon house,
Oh,
and then like just like a log cabin out of like they would just find a plot of land, they would just have an axe, and then that's all they had, and then they would start building.
I the the only thing that I really have any connection with when it comes to that term of stuff, like I've seen those videos. I've also seen like the hunting videos where they, which is weird because those prehistoric hunting methods have turned into this weird like meme thing on Facebook
Really, I
or
didn't
like
even know
social
that was a
media.
thing.
Yeah, no, they. I mean, it's the same as like those weird craft videos on YouTube and Facebook and all social media, where if you actually tried it, it doesn't work. It makes 0 sense type deal.
Yeah.
So, have you seen those kinds of videos?
Oh, like those like
Those
life hacks.
yeah, life hack type videos. Yeah, people started doing them for like old hunting methods. Like someone
Like
literally
just bringing back old hunting methods.
no, but
Or
doing it poorly. Like, have you seen the video that was spreading around where it was literally just like this fucking hole in the ground with water, and
Oh,
people
yeah, and
squeeze like Mentos,
yeah.
the toothpaste, and like Dr Pepper down, it, and all of a sudden a giant ass catfish
Yeah.
appears.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. There's this huge trend for that, but
That's not prehistoric.
yeah, no. But the connection I have to at least the housing is I from time to time get into this huge camping like craze.
Yeah.
Like there's literally a whole subsection of YouTube that's all just like camping videos where it's like hour and 50-minute long videos where people just like vlog and document like a 1 day, 2 day camping excursion.
See, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum. I'll watch like people hitchhike. I say opposite. I'm like on the same side of the spectrum.
You're just
the
instead of
extreme.
watching them build a campsite, you're watching them hike into weird places.
Yeah, I'm watching them hitchhike and like get on a train and stuff like that. Or also like I've said this before on the podcast, like tiny house and stuff like that. People living on the road.
I kind of get into that, except it's more like because of course I'm a big foodie,
Mhm.
so I do the same thing except it's people traveling around the world for food.
Oh yeah.
So they go on like food hikes.
See, my thing is
It's like let's go into a fucking Chinatown and just walk down the street and just see how much $10 gets us.
I
type deal.
can't do a lot of food channels just because I normally end up getting really hungry. That's how I've been ever since I was little. Is I can't watch food stuff because
Well,
it's just
you know,
always,
you should probably watch those food videos because you're all skin and bones. Get a little muscle mass on you. Get a little fat on that tum tum. I think you need to get back into watching them food videos, you know?
Okay, maybe I should watch more food videos.
Yeah. Let's study up on some pasta types, you know? Get a little mac and cheese in your blood flow. But talking about the whole camping thing there, what I was talking about earlier when you were talking about the son and his dad, I thought when you said that you're gonna go like a man and his dog, which
Oh,
is funny because that's also like a big part of like the whole camping YouTube scene. It's not ever just some guy going out camping.
it's always like a dude
It's
and
always
his
a
dog.
guy. Yeah, it's always a dude with his dog or a dude with someone else. Like it's the whole what Discovery did for a long time, Man vs. Wild or Naked and Afraid type deal. It's never just one guy. I mean, kind of with Bear Grylls, it was always one guy, but then every other episode he seemed to have a guest.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things, or it just felt more real or more natural. So I really got into those things, which is funny because I wasn't into those things when I was watching like those prehistoric technology videos or anything like that. It was so once again, I'll go back to saying how weird it is to have the YouTube algorithm control my life.
Yeah, no, especially like with our generation, like especially, I mean, I can just say specifically our friend group where like YouTube is our main consumption of content.
Oh yeah, it's not like I
don't-
personally I don't watch TV anymore.
I don't watch TV.
I don't even
really
watch Netflix.
That's what I was about to say.
yeah,
I don't really use the. Sorry, we keep talking over each other.
I think we're trying to head to the same point. Let's say it together. I don't use streaming services. There we go. Perfect. I think I would grade us a solid 90%. I would give us an A minus. So our GPA goes down. But with that being said, YouTube controls our life, and thanks
Here's an ad break.
thanks for ruining your YouTube algorithm with us.
Look, Fish, I need to know something. I need to know. Have you
What?
heard?
Yeah,
You have?
I
Are
maybe,
you sure?
possibly. You can tell me though.
Have you heard of Anchor?
Like the thing that's on like boats.
No. Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. I'll let you explain. You said you knew about it.
Oh yeah. I remember now.
Okay.
It's free.
It's free?
Yeah, there's
Like
free-
absolutely free, no charge.
no charge.
Uh-huh.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer
Wait, phone? You can just pull out your phone
and edit your podcast right from it and
That's
record it.
wild. That's absolutely wild. What else does it do?
Well, you can distribute your podcast, or Anchor will distribute your podcast for you.
Where?
So it can be heard on Spotify,
Spotify?
Apple Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts?
and anywhere else. Many more.
Wait, so like Google Podcasts and all of those, you can hear it using
yeah.
Anchor? Oh my, really? What else do they do?
You can make money from your own podcast with no minimum listenership.
No minimum listenership? Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
man.
You can just make money from making a podcast? I
Yeah,
didn't know
man.
you could do that.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Wait, so you're telling me that if our listeners want to make a podcast, all they have to do is download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started and make their own podcast?
Yes, that's all they have to do is
That's
download
all they have to do?
the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
That's absolutely wild. What a great steal.
What a great steal.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back.
Bro, you need to stop it. So, Grody, you know the virus is spreading about. By the time this releases, maybe it's gone, maybe it's not.
Yeah, I just disappeared, up and gone.
Well, no,
Packed
what I
his bag, said goodbye.
what I learned today, like many viruses, is that they don't survive really well in heat. So since we're in like the spring summer months now, technically, according to the schedule that we're on, kind of maybe I don't even know.
Especially with these temperatures rising.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is that like with the heat rising, everyone's really speculating on how long the virus is going to spread. If you don't know what we're talking about,
Talking about the coronavirus.
yeah, the hot button topic of the night, the coronavirus.
Which leads perfectly into our topic.
Yeah, sex dolls.
Specifically robotic ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, sort of, kind of. Like, towards the end of the video that we watched, it kind of delved into the AI Google Home version.
How come all the videos you like to show me are weird, like, fetish or sex videos?
Like what?
I don't know.
You're only going to
maybe-
come up with one, and it's going to be the formicophilia.
That's the bugs, right?
Yeah, that's the bugs. What else?
The puppy play?
That was Cole.
Okay, maybe
Because Cole wanted to talk about furries, and I decided to play a little prank on him and put puppy play videos up there, but then he was all for it.
Well, you still end up showing us these videos.
If we
Shayton.
would have watched a furry fucking video, it would have ended up being the same fucking conversation.
Okay,
Except one's in latex and one's in fur.
so what's the deal with sex dolls, Shayton?
And also, yes, I show you the videos because we record on my computer. How else are we going to watch them? Your argument's null and void.
And-
But anyways, about sex dolls.
Your point.
My point, we're going back to the rubber.
all rubber.
No, I think it raises a very interesting conversation just because, I mean, the video that we watched was of course, as many the videos that we talk about on this podcast was from Vice. And well, I can't say that. A lot of the odder subjects we talk about come from Vice videos.
Yeah, that's true.
But this video was all about sex dolls, and it's from 2018, which kind of surprised me because I was not thinking about sex dolls 2 years ago. I was not thinking they were a thing.
I remember on the Joe Rogan podcast there was a comedian named Whitney Cummings. She actually had a sex robot of her made for her like comedy act,
Oh my god!
and she brought it onto the podcast.
That's
and
fucking amazing.
and like in the video we watched, it would like respond and stuff and talk.
yeah. No, that was the thing is that like at the start of the video they were talking about how, well, they were talking about like brothels and stuff like that, which is weird because brothels aren't really a thing in the U.S. I mean, strip clubs are.
I think
But-
there's some weird certain states that are weird about it. Brothels
Yeah.
are just weird in general, though.
Yeah, no, for sure, because brothels are just kind of, I don't even know how to describe them.
I mean,
It's just like prostitution, but in a business office.
no, literally, it's like under like an organized house, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of but no. So like in the beginning of the video, they were talking about basically robots taking over the sex industry, and I just thought that because this is actually something that I've heard before, which is a weird like kind of analogy mindscape to be in, and it's just that the only way that AI is ever gonna take over when someone's gonna make a robot that's smart enough to take over the human world, it's literally gonna come from the porn industry.
I have never heard that.
You've
What-
never heard that? I've heard this before where they were like, it's not gonna be like auto manufacturers, it's not gonna be like AI developers or anything like that.
It's gonna be.
It's gonna be the people making sex dolls trying to make them as real as possible.
that, you know, I could see where that would be the first form of like true consciousness.
Yeah, no.
Because like how much they like trying to program feelings into it.
Which I mean,
Well, like the ones we were watching.
yeah,
I feel like
they were literally like you had to turn them on for them to want to fuck.
yeah.
Because
So
if
like
not, they were like turning you down. You could
Yeah.
be like, "I love you" to the robot. It's like, yeah, I like you, type deal.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So they have like a range of emotions. So like you're programming that in. So maybe that's like I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't see like them being like self well, I guess once you get consciousness, that's
yeah. I was
when
gonna
you
say
start-
you can never know when a robot becomes self-conscious because at that point it's too late.
I was gonna say when it's self-conscious, does that mean is that at the point where it has generalized artificial intelligence, where it could start like self-repairing and doing all this kind of stuff, or
I mean, that kind of gets into a weird spectrum of like, would it have to self-repair? I don't know because that goes into like what makes a human
I mean, like
type retrospective.
that's the worry about AI though, right? Like
Oh, yeah, that
like
it'll
the
just-
singularity that where
Yeah,
it's
that
able
it'll
to
just take over and become smarter than us.
and like it'll be able to process more and like I said, self-repair.
Yeah.
So then we're just not needed in the whole equation. So like would a sex robot necessarily be able to be the cause of that?
Well, I think there's a difference between sentient and dependent.
So
Like
so do you think it will
Humans-
be conscious and but dependent on humans?
in the beginning, yes, because when you really think about it, right now, humans are sentient, but they're also dependent on other humans. Like you cannot just go out and like, yes, you can live by yourself.
Look, our first half of the topic proves that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for real though. But
Our first half of the podcast might be.
yeah, no. So the whole ideology behind like if you're dependent or not
Yeah.
is kind of like a farce because you're always dependent on someone else.
Yeah. Whether it be like
I mean, going out and getting groceries or fast food, right? Like
You
you're
de-
always going to be depending on someone to do something else for you,
to check out your groceries. To
Unless
be at the
you're-
store.
unless you're going primitive and
Yeah.
doing everything yourself, which
No, I
no
was-
one does.
I was gonna say like even like, you know, emotionally, like you have to have like your family or if like you're not good with your family, your
Yeah, no,
friends,
even
your-
emotionally, you're You're very dependent. So I think if robots ever became independent enough to not need humans, they would become dependent of other robots, which would cause the same strains and failures of infrastructure that the human race has.
No, I don't think so. I think robots would be smarter than that.
Yeah, but
You
the
know,
problem
I
is,
say that, but you know, they talk about being robots being so smart.
it would be
they're
their own
working-
detriment.
They would only be
They would-
working with all of human knowledge.
Yeah, they would be outsmarting themselves.
They'd be outsmarting themselves. They'd also be. That'd be weird if you. I think that'd be the real true like end of the world is if you made two supercomputers that had like generalized
That
artificial.
play chess together, because that's a thing.
Well, not that, but like had generalized artificial intelligence where they were competing against each other.
Bro, let's go back to talking about robots that give you hand jobs.
I kind of like this conversation.
No, I know. I just wanted to point out the like, what if it ever malfunctioned? Just like all those robotic fucking joints is clamped, squeeze you like a fucking pear.
I was thinking
A
that when we were
banana.
watching the video.
Yeah, when the hand was just like shaking like Parkinson's. Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Like what if?
Like also,
Because
does
like
it have
essentially,
does it have sensors in its fingers so it knows how like tightly to grip, so it knows like how like girth and all that stuff.
that's what I was wondering.
Because the video we watched obviously was not utilizing length in any form or fashion.
But what I was gonna say was like the mouth and like the vagina are essentially like fleshlights.
Yeah.
What's different about the hand is that like it has to like
Yeah,
it has to
have
grip.
grip. It has to have grip. No,
So,
I thought
like,
it was funny that like most of the time
there's a
spent
lot-
in the video was just grabbing the shoulders of the dolls and shaking them so they could see how the fucking tits and breasts like jiggled.
They were like
they were
true
like
to
re-
real physics.
Yeah, they were like realistic. No, I was just like, you freaks.
Whole thing's fucking creepy.
No, the whole thing.
Because I
is,
I think like people can do what they want, but my own personal opinion, I think brothels are weird and like
bro, how about
it-
you not
I'm-
shame sex
I'm not
work?
I'm not
Okay?
shaming it. Like I said, people can do what they want.
You just think they're wrong.
No, I don't think they're wrong.
I'm trying to trap you in a corner. I'm trying to make
But
sure
what
this
I'm
goes
saying is, like,
viral.
people I feel like people worry about like, you know, the sanitariness of that. That's probably not a word, but
Well, the thing
Well,
about sex bots is that you can just put them in the dishwasher.
I just feel like that's
Steam
I feel like that's a bit more unsanitary.
What? You don't think steam cleaning a fucking sex bot, shoving a fucking pressure washer up there, just hit the button, done. Fucking throw them through a car wash.
Imagine you put it through the vagina, spray the power washer.
It comes with a
yeah.
Squirt gun. No,
Stupid.
bro. The whole like idea, like, is you were talking about fucking like pocket pussies and fleshlights, and I mean they literally have like this whole like weird region of like the porn industry where female porn stars get their vagina, or well, both sides of the spectrum really. Like porn stars get their genitalia fucking molded to get
Yeah.
dildos or fleshlights made and stuff like that. And you were talking about a fucking comedian who got them to make a sex doll of her
Yeah.
for her fucking comedy set. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like in the future, like, could Grandpa me fucking get a sex doll made of a younger version of my deceased wife? And just be like, I'm back in my prime? Like, where's the line stop at that point? Because it's like, oh, if we're starting with porn stars, then it's going to become like commercial, and then there's literally going to be a website one day.
Upload the photo.
Yeah, upload the photo.
Oh, that's
of
gonna
your-
be so weird. It's gonna get like into deep fake territory where they're
Yeah,
making
no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's
the
like,
3D when like 3D printing gets good enough
yeah,
to
how
like.
soon are you gonna fucking be able to? Literally, it's gonna be Westworld shit. Like, how you're gonna be able to upload like a 360 image of whoever you want to clone, basically, and they're gonna send you a fucking sex doll with Google
That's
Assistant
so
built in.
weird. That's so weird to think about. Some creep like.
And then you can tell it to talk like a legend, and then it's gonna have John Legend's voice. Good gonna be like what was it? Is it Waze that does the weird, like, they hire super celebrities to do the
I think
voice
it's
of their
Google
GPS?
Maps.
No, Google Maps hasn't done it.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is Waze.
Or maybe that was just April Fool's jokes. I know they've done, like, someone hacked Waze or one of those map apps to use Yoda's voice or something. Some nonsensical nonsense. But no, I'm just wondering, like, what's the point? Where's the end to it all? Because it's like,
singularity.
yeah, well, not
where,
singular.
Where
I'm-
we'll be able to be in the Neuralink and just like consciously think. We won't need a sex
yeah,
doll.
when can I fucking, which we actually talked about, when can I get into fucking VR?
It won't even be VR.
Yeah, we
It'll
don't
be
even
like,
need a physical sex doll. We just need VR and we can just imagine it.
Well, I mean, I wonder like if something like Neuralink, like if you get like a VR would be a possibility. I'm almost thinking of something like Sword Art Online, where it's like you're tactile, you feel everything.
Oh yeah, no, I strongly believe if
Because
we
if they-
ever get to that point where we can fucking, like, Matrix style plug a cord into the back of our cerebral cortex and just straight up go into a video game, no, there would be some hardcore fucking, like, 1,000 people orgies going on somewhere in the back
VR
of the
chat would not be a good place to be.
yeah, somewhere in the fucking back of the server, some nonsense going on that has a giant, like, you have to be like 21 plus to enter. You have to be level 21 plus to get in here. That deal.
Your life's just gonna be your level for the
Yeah,
game
no,
of life.
Yeah, no, for
I-
real though.
I think the scariest thing to me about having something like Neuralink or like Google Glass or like
yeah, you're
any-
literally talking up, like, what if it ever breaks and you get trapped in that world, Sword Art
No.
Online style?
no, not that at
Because
all.
I think that's a
but
benefit.
Like
Stay young forever.
walking around in the real world and just like having a HUD at all time.
Oh,
I think I imagine having like a fucking compass and a fucking like
well,
mini map.
the
Essentially,
thing is about that is that we're kind of at that point already with our phones. It's just people are starting to attach those to things that are
No,
see-through.
that's what I'm saying. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that like
I kind of
wouldn't wa-
prefer that because then
I don't
at
want to
least
constantly have a HUD.
well, here's my
like
okay.
I'm
here's my
living in
big
a video
thing.
game. I don't want to see my age at the top like it's my fucking level.
Okay, wait, here's my thing about that though is that I know you, and I feel like that would actually be a benefit for you because I know as soon as you look at your phone, you are instantly tuned out to anything and everything that is happening around you. So I could be having a full-blown conversation to you. You look at your phone for a second and you've missed the next 15 minutes of our conversation. Because just I know you to that point. So I feel like if you had Google Glass where everything was just floating in front of you with the HUD, because I fully believe it's just your vision is fully focused on this and all your senses get focused on that. So I think as soon as you introduce the ideology of transparency to that to make it a HUD-like image, you would be able to multitask like a motherfucker.
I feel like the main reason I would enjoy it, that'd be the only reason I would, is like time management. Like tasks would be able to like come up in my fucking HUD.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the main thing. Most people, it'd be like fucking a quest system in a sense. It'd be the main reason people use it. But no,
Life would be a little more enjoyable if I
Yeah.
could think it was a video game.
you know, it's kind of honestly kind of baffling to me that you say that you don't want that because I feel like that's like your main detriment. It's just the fact that you can't focus on anything. You can only focus on singular stuff at a time.
Yeah, it's hard for me to multitask.
Yeah.
But on that note,
What? I mean, sure, whatever. I don't even care. Let's do it. What are you doing?
I'm jingling around my keys.
You need to stop jacking off.
I'm sorry.
It's hard sometimes. I understand. Being in this room, I
I
like.
was staring at you,
Yeah, staring at
locking
me.
eyes for 45 minutes.
Yeah, talking about sex dolls with fucking vibrating vaginas. It's
And
wild.
primitive
It's
technology.
a primitive technology where they fucking grind and mortar and pedestal fucking peppers together. Yeah, no. But thank you so much for listening. God damn. Thank you so much for listening to the MindMesh podcast. You can tune in every Monday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, or you can tune into our YouTube channel, MindMesh on YouTube, at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday. With that being said, my name's Jayton.
And I'm Fish.
And join us back next time, sir, for some more wild and wacky topics. Will we have a guest? Will we not have a guest? Will we have actual coherent topics? Who knows?
The
See us
world
next
may
time.
never know.
Bro, we ain't fucking tricks.